All right, hello everyone. We are back with more Falcon BMS today. We were planning on streaming this anyway, but also I got my new joystick in, and excuse me, my throat is a little gunked up. I just had dinner a little while ago, so you might have to deal with some weird noises. So please excuse that. But I just got my new joystick in today. I had to immediately tear the entire thing apart and reassemble it to swap out the mini stick, like a miniature joystick axis, for a hat switch so that it better fits my needs in Falcon BMS. So now on my joystick, which is VKB Gladiator Premium, I now have 4 hat switches, which I used to only have 2. So one of them is Display Management Switch, DMS. Another one is TMS, which I don't remember what that means. Target Management Switch, I think it is. So that's what I use to lock up targets and unlock targets and all that. And then I've got CMS, which is Countermeasure Management System. And then I've got a hat for trim. So this solves, hopefully, some of the issues I've been having with trim, where trim was just not working like 90% of the time when I was trying to trim the aircraft because I had it bound to the DMS, Display Management Switch, and with the Alt Pinky switch. But I also have additional buttons because each one of these hat switches is now a button, as well as I've got an additional actual regular button, and then a 2-way trigger that I'm going to be using for autopilot override and dogfight override. And we might encounter some situations where we find out that, hey, this key isn't bound, and we have to exit the mission, and I have to fix some key binds, so we might have some trouble like that. But I did run a couple just quick flight missions. I didn't run combat missions, so we should be good for the basic controls, and hopefully everything will go well for this. Now, what's planned for today is we noticed that this enemy graph, red line here, it's been steadily decreasing, but then fairly recently, it spiked up. That is because China has gotten involved. People have said that the odds of China getting involved in this campaign are slim to none, but they also said that it takes a couple days for China to get involved in the other campaign I was playing, and they got involved immediately. So I think it's probably another trigger bug, but we were short on air targets anyway. There was like less than 20 aircraft on the enemy side. Now they're quite a ways back up. And I don't know if Russia's supposed to get involved, but I've seen in TAC view the Admiral Kuznetsov has been around here. And unfortunately, we don't get to mount harpoons on these F-16 variants. Otherwise, I would love to go sling some harpoon missiles at it just out of spite, even if they're not hostile right now. I don't know how that would go, if they would suddenly get hostile after that or what. But it would be a fun exercise, I think. I also have not used the harpoon, so our luck's not great. But what's going on right now is I'm seeing some enemy aircraft around here. We've got, what is this? I think a group of J-20s. Yep, that is a J-20. Yep, the pair of them. So we're going to fly out, try to intercept some stuff. We mainly are intending to stick around this Gulf area. Let me actually add some steer point lines so I can figure out where I am roughly. So we'll add some steer point lines along this coast. Let's add one more. All right, and then these are these 3 are SA2s. I did this before, but it didn't save. Let's add a pre-planned threat steer point. SA2, okay. We'll add another one. SA2, okay. And another one. So this will help with our situational awareness overall, because we'll know where the enemy anti-aircraft emplacements are. Now for our overall objectives, we know that We're attacking Incheon City. I actually haven't been able to find that. I'd have to Google Maps it and then figure out where the heck it is in relation to everything on here, because the cities don't seem to be marked particularly well. But we also know that at 3, I assume that's 3 o'clock Zulu time, we've got a major offensive to take Seoul. At least I think this is Seoul. I'm an American, so I'm bad at geometry. But we're going to try to see if we can't support some of this. We've definitely got a whole bunch of friendly units, ground units here, moving into position to assault this area. So we want to support that as much as we can. And to aid that, we're going to be mainly trying to do some close air patrol, try to take out anything that's going on and flying around here, because I've seen in the past couple missions primarily it's been aircraft coming in across this kind of gulf to attack our friendly air forces, and we want that to not happen. So let's hit save. I've got the rest of the mission generated. We're going to open our data cartridge. We're going to make sure our comm plan and our IFF plan are loaded, and we're going to save. And then our knee boards are updated, so we are going to take off. Oh, and this took us off in the air. Oh, God. That is not good. This is not where I was intending to take off, or be. Let me figure out where the heck I am. Why are we over here? SMS, what do we have? We have 2 AM. This is not... Okay, this is the wrong flight we just dropped into. Hi, Scotty Screams. Thanks for the compliment. That honestly means a lot, because I, like many other VTubers, am pretty insecure about my voice. Oh, thanks for the follow. But yeah, I, like many other VTubers, am very insecure about my voice. I hate hearing my voice so much, and I think it sounds awful. So you saying that means a lot to me. Okay, so we screwed up. We had this mission that we tried to pop into midair, so we got to pop into this one. Shen Yuanowo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for the follow as well. Okay, we're gonna reset this, and we're gonna pop into the actual mission we were planning on. We're gonna start from the taxiway, because our time to take off is only 1:55 seconds. I got the super dreamy anime guy vibe going on. Well, that's good to hear. I didn't think I'd be able to pull it off. I was going for the nerd vibe. Oh, they're having us take off from a different runway for once. Okay, now I gotta quickly go into my data cartridge. Gotta load the data cartridge. That's important, because that's got all of our settings and comm and IFF, and without that, we might get shot down by friendlies. Pretty unlikely. Or we won't have the right IFF settings to IFF interrogate friendlies. And I will check. We got to get our radar altimeter on. I just turned the lights on. Some lights on there. We are right at the threshold of the runway. What's Moe Moe Kyun is I say Moe Moe Kyun. And thank you for the hydrate as well. Let me grab my water bottle. Now, I am playing a flight sim today, so there are going to be points where I can't necessarily check chat, because you wouldn't want your pilot of your commercial airliner flying or reading Twitch chat while flying. But there's also a lot of complicated things going on, so don't hesitate to ask. All right, hold short. Contact tower, good. switch to tower frequency, ready for departure.
Plasma 2, 2 ship F-16s, ready for departure. Plasma 2, Kunshan.
Wind is from 300, so it's off our left. Okay.
You are cleared for takeoff.
Let's get onto the runway. The steering button does work. That wasn't working before when I was testing, and I had to make sure that I have that bound. We're going to line up on the right of the center line because our wingman is going to line up to the left of us and behind us. Step on the brakes. Switch our lights to from taxi to landing and takeoff. I gotta make a Discord, make it airport themed. I don't have the time to manage a Discord yet, so I'm holding off on that. I still work full time. Let me get the music going. I'm not actually an aviation themed VTuber, but I do love playing flight sims. Okay, so we're gonna throttle up, RPM 90%, and then we go. And our V rotate should be about 160 knots. So when we hit that, I'm gonna rotate and we're gonna pull up. Rotate. All right, we rotated a bit hard and we're at risk of scraping our nozzle, our engine nozzle by doing that, but it worked out. I want us to contact departure. All right, contact departure. Report airborne. Heading 320. That is left. This new joystick is a lot stiffer than the previous one I was using, so I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with some of the maneuvering here, but I did try landing, and my landing didn't really have much of an impact from that. ASMR redeems. That's a tough question there. I personally love ASMR, but I don't know if I would ever be able to get ASMR tingles for myself or calming from my own voice. Okay, let's fence in real quick. Master lights to off. Oh shit. I forgot to pull my gear up and we've got one gear damaged, so we're gonna have some trouble. We are gonna have a real bad time. So we've got a pair of drop tanks on the right MFD. They're the TK370s. And if you look on my screen right now, they're these. We're going to have to not drop these if we want to land our aircraft now, because we just screwed up and possibly damaged our landing gear. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. Wingman, we need you to fence and turn your lights off, because we're possibly going to encounter enemy aircraft soon. This is MRM override mode. Okay, good. Let's get our targeting pod on. Our targeting pod is on and good to go. Perfect. Oh, you only followed because of the voice? That's nice. And I hope you enjoy the vibes. And again, this is a very complicated flight sim, so please do not hesitate to ask questions. I'll do my best to answer them. All right, let's call up a... Oh god, this isn't good. AWACS is not available. Dragnet. Okay, so 368.625. Okay, let's change COM 1. That is 36862. Enter, and then okay, now we have AWACS available, so we can request vector nearest air threat. And they're not responding. Request picture. Oh, let's set a halo. One group 335. 117 miles away. Okay, so they're quite far out. Yeah, this is a one-to-one flight sim of the F-16 Falcon. So it is, there's a lot that goes on. TMS left per IFF interrogate. We got some contacts to our front. And we don't see any IFF response from this contact. So AWACS, is this a friendly? Confirmed hostile. Okay, let's go. MRM override. Okay, we are in MRM override mode. Master arm to on. All right. We have no clue what this target is. He's about, what, 30 nautical miles away? He's pretty low, though. Oh, we lost it. Found it again. He's flying away from us. He's pretty slow. Let's declare, see if we can't figure out what he is. Targeting pod. Can you get us a view on it? Contact his outlaw. His altitude is only, what, 3,000 feet? So he's really low. Let's put our autopilot on altitude hold. We'll try to hold this altitude so we don't dive too much while trying to chase this guy. MFDs, you should see one on the right that says not soy. That is my targeting pod. This is an AN2. Okay, this thing is like not worth shooting down. It's a biplane. Our air-to-air missiles that we would shoot it with literally cost more than that thing. So it is not a good use of our weapons. So we're gonna throttle back up. We're gonna switch to climbing a bit more. And our RWR, which is this thingy, that should be the center item in the overlay. It has a bunch of numbers and stuff. The 2 that keeps popping up there is an enemy anti-aircraft battery painting us with its fire control radar occasionally. But he hasn't locked us up. It'll put a diamond around it if he's locked us up, and that's when things are really, really bad. And we want to not be in that situation. Let's turn off our autopilot and actually, so it'll actually let us climb. Oh, and I forgot I've got the autopilot override paddle now, so I could have just overrode it until we got to the desired altitude. We got a 16, which is an F-16. That's one of our allies. It's probably our wingman locking us up with his radar. I don't know why he always does that, though. It's kind of annoying. All right, let's vector to threat. Anything going on? Request picture. 2 groups, range and azimuth split. Okay, let's 0351. Okay, so he is 0351 nautical miles. No idea what it is though. What did he say was the altitude? I didn't catch that. Oh, it looks like it's that AN2 again. But no, that AN2 is pretty close. It's not 51 nautical miles away. It's less than 40. Let's try to climb up to like 25,000 feet. I am quite liking this VKB joystick that I just got because it's It's centering very positively, and even like if I'm resting my hand on it. Oh, we got contact. Q2 declare. Turn towards it. Confirmed hostile. MRM override mode. Let's get ready. Looks like a pair of contacts. And with how they are right now, they probably have a jammer. He's at 23,000 feet, so it's not a biplane. So I would like to avoid shooting down biplanes in this. It's kind of a waste. Although they do still count as air-to-air kills, I guess. He's bouncing all around for range, which means he's got a pretty powerful jammer. I'm going to bet that this is a J-15, which would appear as a 33 on our RWR, or it might be a MiG-29. Oh, let's get our countermeasures into auto mode, because we're going to want that. We lost it. Come on, radar, lock onto it. Can scan our radar a little faster, but narrowing down the azimuth that it'll scan. Oh, we should do an IFF identify to see. Oh, these look like they're friendlies. No, the friendlies are outside 40 nautical miles. So this guy's kind of stuck between us and another group of F-16s, I think. Targeting pod, what do you see? I can see it. It does not look like a friendly aircraft. Let's declare it again to make sure. MiG-23, okay. Let's get ready. What was the minimum abort range for a MiG-23? $23.12. Okay, so we're at 15 when our missile goes pit bull. Let's speed up. We'll go full afterburner, try to catch up with him. We're almost getting him solidly into range, turn and run where you can't turn around and escape. Oh, we lost him. Shoot. There's those friendly aircraft again. I think they must have shot him down. Darn. Request picture. Picture is clear. All right then, let's turn to the right. Get our radar back scanning full distance. Some more 16s on our RWR. Not much going on though. Let's see if they'll give us a vector to a threat. Nothing. We could go to our comm and swap and see if the other AWACS is up. Vector to threat. Okay, our proper AWACS is up now, but no dice. We got some anti-air. What's an A with a chevron over it? That means it's airborne. That is odd. I haven't seen that before. Got two of them? Vector to nearest threat.
Plasma, 2-1. Request vector to threat.
Plasma, 2-1, entry 1, nearest threat.
120 nautical miles away. That's way too far away to care about.
Tracking hostile Prince 233.
Okay, so there might not be anything going on right now. Excuse me as I adjust my position. All right, well, TIL, the button I use for mute, also adjusts the drift and this heads-up display. It's this little switch here. So I'll keep that in mind. I'm glad it was something like that rather than something more complicated that I'd have to find, because that would have been a real pain to try to hit a button and then try to figure out what the heck it did. Okay, so we gotta find something else that, well, we don't have to find something to attack, but we do want to. And yeah, we're getting, every time we hear that little did-it, that's something coming up on the RWR, so it's telling us, hey, something popped up. So we can see here it's a couple Ps, which are Patriot surface-to-air missile systems. Those are friendly, so we don't really care about those. But they'll frequently lock us up and wave their radar over us, because they don't have any other way of telling if we're friendly or not until they IFF identify us. Maybe we'll have a peaceful night flying. Maybe we'll have a couple of stealth Chinese aircraft come and ruin our day. We don't really have any way of knowing. We'll request vector to nearest air threat to keep our situational awareness up. 33583, that's pretty close.
H3 21,000. Tracking hostile Prince 233.
All right, so he's about on this heading. He's 85, so he's going to be off our radar regardless, but we don't really have any hope of locking him up at these ranges anyway, so there's no... And it should be a J-15 if it said it was an Su-33. Now, I did play around with some of this stuff, and I now have a button that turns my jammer on and off. Okay, that might be useful. There's a whole game of cat and mouse with electronic warfare and all that, and I don't really know it yet. But with any luck, perhaps keeping my ECM off will make me a bit harder to spot, because that's how it's supposed to work. The ECM is basically transmitting a whole crapload of interference to interfere with something radar locking onto your aircraft. The downside of that is somebody with a fire control radar painting over your aircraft is going to be able to see your aircraft sooner than it otherwise might be able to. Oh, we saw it for a brief second on our radar. Let's request a vector to the nearest threat. They might give us a further vector onto the target. 350, 54 nautical miles, 21,000 feet. He's right here on our radar display. Radar display is the left MFD. They show up as a white box with a line. Oh, no, he should be right within our radar elevation, no problem. Popped up and disappeared again. Yeah, he's J-15 with that ECM that he's got. Try to lock him up. We got him locked up. We lost him. Locked him up again. MRM override mode. He's flying a little to our right. All right, his radar is, he sees us on radar, so let's get our ECM on. Is that a second one? No, that's the 2, I think. The SA-2 anti-aircraft system. Su-33, a minimum board range should be, what was it? 17 nautical miles. Fire. Fire. SMS. Ready? Yeah, it's all good. Fire. Fox 3.
Chaff, flare. Caution. Caution. Chaff, flare.
Come on, go pit bull, cold pit bull.
Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare.
He's got a missile after us. Let's hope we can avoid it.
Chaff, flare. 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 Chaff, flare.
Ah, shit.
Warning, 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 warning. One, be advised, threat aircraft. Bearing 3.
Rip. And I am dumb. I just realized that I had the wrong game capture on most of that time, so you weren't seeing everything that was going on from my view, but we'll end the mission anyway. I'll get that fixed next time that we sortie. We got hit by a missile. We flew too close to an enemy aircraft and got hit. I can actually show quite well what happened. Let me pull it up. User Acme tape. Well, we punched out, so we didn't die, but our aircraft got shot down. And I can pull up TAC view. So this is a recording of everything that was going on in the area while we were flying. So we took off, we flew this direction. We saw these AN-2s, so yeah, we didn't shoot them down, no big deal. We saw this MiG-23, we were getting a lock on it, and then it got hit by a whole bunch of Patriot missiles because our air defenses are over here. But he fired an R3 at us. We didn't get any missile warning, so it must not have locked on to any of us. And then we flew out this direction. Yep, there's those J-15s that we saw. So one went high. We fired our AMRAAM just before them, but they fired 2 missiles. We turned around, tried to evade. And these missiles don't like lose any speed. It's crazy. So if we just play this, we'll see that it's Mach 3. Jesus. It's slowing down a little bit, I guess. So its motor's burned out. And this one's down to Mach 2. But the one that was fired at us was fired from a higher altitude, so it really didn't matter that we started trying to pull up. It still had plenty of energy to follow us. And then that one just failed to track, so I don't know what our wingman did different from us. He dropped 3 flares and then just went on. I don't know a lot about missile evasion yet, so I'm not too good at any of this. Oh boy, and we've got a whole bunch of other aircraft over here. I wonder what these are. So we're going to set up, we're going to add a package here. New. It's going to be our F-16s. It's going to be bar cap. So this is going to just defend some of our other aircraft that are coming in soon. And we want them to be taking off as soon as possible to start patrolling this area before the other aircraft get in here. So that should do it for that group. We're going to send some other units over here. Another bar cap. Then we will add a package, and we're just going to do another intercept, but that's really just going to mean that it's a free hunt for us, and we're going to see what we can do. Actually, no. Interception, we're going to set it to veteran, so I have a decent wingman. All right. I'll add another waypoint here, so we know roughly where our waypoints are. Here's our bar cap, here's our interception. So we're seeing a whole bunch of contacts out here. We'll pick our aircraft, then let's go to our loadout. Our loadout is all AMRAAMs, which are long-range radar-guided missile. We're gonna swap out a pair of these for some Sidewinders, which are an infrared-guided missile, because we do have the chance of coming across a radar stealth aircraft, which in that case we want the infrared missiles. The infrared missiles are also really good at close ranges. Oh, and then we want this sniper targeting pod. That's what I used to identify that that biplane before. So we will save. And then I have to do some of the administrative stuff, so I'll switch over to that screen. So here is some of the hard data that I have to get in case of emergencies to be able to do, manage everything that I need to. So here, package 2324. I gotta find that real quick and then load it. And save steer point data, and then this is going to populate with information. So like here's our rotate speed and refusal speed for takeoff. And then there's just some other info in here like runway ILS, nav points, what times we're supposed to get there, the frequencies for these AWACS, And notice our AWACS has switched over to a different frequency and a different aircraft in this area, which is good to know. And if we update the knee boards, this will populate on our pilot's knee boards so that we can reference it when we need to. It's thinking, it's saving those knee boards, and they are saved. So we can hide that. I can go back to the regular game capture because we're just about to take off. Yeah, and this is the default size of the window when I have it set up for the standard capture. Because this is an old game, its UI only runs in one resolution, pretty much. So I can't really make it any bigger without making scaling up the entire window, which then makes the 3D resolution really big. So what I do is I scale up the game UI in OBS, and then I have to transition before we actually take off. All right, we're about to take off, or about to spawn in on the taxiway. I probably should have done a full start for this just so we could run through that, but maybe next mission we'll do that. All right, so we are, okay, I know where we are on the airfield. All right. We have a handy dandy airfield map. So we are like right about here, or sorry, this is going to be jittery. I have a zoom slider axis that I use on my joystick, and it's a potentiometer that's getting a little jittery in its old age. But we're sitting around somewhere here. We're probably going to take off runway 36. That's where it looks like everybody else is taxiing to. So before we start taxi, we're going to just make sure everything's set up, which should be not too much to really deal with. We'll load our data cartridge. Data cartridge has all of our frequency communication info that we need. IFF info, all that important stuff. 0.2. I think our data cartridge did load, so then let's request a...
F-16s. Request taxi. Beast 6-1, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 29230. Satan 6, 2-ship F-16s. Request taxi.
Good evening, Satan 6. You're number 2 for departure. Taxi Alpha. And hold short, runway 36.
All right, runway 36.
6 taxiing.
So we're going to start taxiing. It looks like that's our wingman right there. Nose steering is enabled. Good. Okay, so we can actually turn. Follow the marker lines until we get to the runway. You can see the runway 36 sign here, so we know that's where the runway is. I'll adjust my horizontal situation display, the right MFD right now, just to zoom it out a bit.
Satan 6-1, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 29230.
We will contact tower for takeoff, ready for departure.
Satan 6, 2-ship F-16s. Ready for departure.
Satan 6, hold short.
Hold short because these other guys are taking off. We'll request takeoff clearance again once they're in the air, and they should grant it.
Beast 6, contact departure.
All right, ready for departure.
Satan 6, 2-ship F-16s. Ready for departure.
Satan 6,
Wind
close
330,
tower,
okay.
Wing 300, at 0 knots. Runway 36, you are cleared for takeoff.
All right, let's line up on the runway. Switch to our landing lights. All right, wingman. come on. In position, all right. One last check, everything looks good over here. Everything looks good over here. Yeah, ILS is on, and let's get that turned up. And let's get countermeasures to auto. Throttle up. RPM 90, release the brakes. Rotate speed was 155. Rotate. Gear up.
Satan 6-1, contact departure. Gamble, orbit for spacing, 5,000. 2, airborne. Satan 6, airborne. 2 ship, F-16s. Satan 6, going time, departure. Fly heading 045, resume on navigation.
Heading 045, all right.
Satan 6-2, on my way.
Switch to AWACS frequency. Our steer point set up. All right. Let's set our low altitude warning to 15,000 feet again. All right, that's all good. Throttle back so we're not using afterburner. And we'll continue our climb. We're already sitting up here at like 500 knots, so we got pretty fast. I'm kind of at this point used to heavy air-to-ground loads, so the missile load we've got is pretty light. Hey, Xalius, how are you? I hope I am saying that right. I can't remember. Okay, all friendly contacts so far. Let's request a picture from AWACS.
Magic 4, Satan 6-1, request picture.
Satan 6-1, Magic 4, picture is multiple groups. Range and azimuth split. East group, 342 80 21,000. Track northwest, hostile.
Hi, Floopy Matcha, how are you?
2996 21,000. Track northwest, hostile. West group, 314 108 21,000.
Okay.
Track north, hostile.
It's a lot of aircraft up. I haven't seen that many up for a while. But Xalius, Floopy Matcha, how are you guys doing? Oh, you're good. I'm doing pretty well. We are struggling against some enemy aircraft. In our campaign, China got involved and is assisting North Korea. And they're sending a whole bunch of aircraft, and we no longer have such a huge blowout of technological superiority over our enemy. So we don't outrange them so far that we can just sling missiles in their directions and then not care. Oh, let's fence in since we have a fair number of enemy aircraft in this area. So lights off, master arm on, wingman, fence in as well, get him to turn his lights off.
2.
Let's check data link function. All right, he's behind us, perfect. We're dropping to about 330 knots, so we're gonna push our nose down. I'm gonna do attitude hold on our autopilot. I'm gonna override it and just push the nose further down and then release. Enjoy some of the features my new stick has. Got an 18 on the RWR display, so that's an FA-18, so that's friendly. We got a radar contact ahead. All the 4s mean that they're friendly. AWACS, where's the nearest threat?
4, Satan 6-1, request vector to threat.
So 327.
Nearest threat, 327 86 21,000. Dragging hostile Prince 233.
So that's quite likely that group that previously shot us down. But we gotta come left a bit. We got more 18s, more 16s on our RWR. That's no big deal.
2 in position.
Targeting pod, let's bring that into AA mode quickly. Good. And then let's also make sure it's in AA mode for our regular. Let's do another IFF check. Everything looks green. Switch our autopilot to altitude hold. Let's request nearest threat again, see if it's changed.
4, Satan, 6-1. Request vector to threat.
316. Okay, that's us SU-33s again.
96, 21,000. Dragging. Hostile Prince Su-33.
Turn those comms down just a bit so I can actually hear myself think when they're speaking. All right, yeah, same FA-18. FF interrogate. There's something right in front of us that didn't respond. Declare. Tell me what this is.
6-1. Bullseye. 0, 8, 5, 6.
Confirmed hostile.
Declare.
What the heck is that?
Satan 6-1. Magic 4. Contact confirmed hostile.
Nester arms on. Good, good. Okay. Autopilot off. Let's see. He's going to the left. Oh, we got 22 on the RWR. That's a J20. That's not good.
Magic 4, Satan, 6-1. Group Bullseye. 0, 2, 0, 3, 23,000. Declare.
Satan 6-1. Magic 4. Contact confirmed hostile.
The heck is that? God, the skies just got a lot more crowded. All right, let's try to get a missile away on this guy. Pitbull at 18 miles. Okay. Hoping there's not actually a J-20 about to blow me out of the sky to my left. $18 miles. Is he trailing something? Is he on fire? No, it doesn't look like it. That's just contrails. All right, Fox 3.
1, Fox 3 long.
Caution. Caution.
Load cat change. Let's fix that. Oh, I turned away before it went pitbull. Oops. So that means it's probably not going to hit. Pitbull is when the missile has acquired the target for itself and is tracking on its own rather than using my radar. So part of the troll is you can't just fire and forget the missile. Well, you can, but there's oh, it's it might have hit something. I don't know. Yeah, so it's there's actually like 3 tracking modes after you fire one of these missiles that we're using, the AMRAAM AIM-120s. The first is what is it? Active radar homing. But I don't remember exactly the term for it, but it's your aircraft radar is painting the target and uses an antenna to talk with your a missile and provide guidance to the missile. And doing that just extends the range, because rather than paying for a radar the size of my aircraft's radar for each missile, you're only paying for a smaller radar and an antenna. So you put that in. So yeah, you track it until. So yeah, you use your aircraft's radar to track the target until the missile has gotten lock on target, and then from there you can guide it a little further. You could actually guide it all the way until it hits the target, and it'll have a little bit more accurate of a firing solution. But there is a 2 different modes in which the missile's radar is locking onto a thing, and there's a slightly less accurate one and a slightly more accurate one. So you can guide the missile until it goes pitbull and is tracking on its own, like at all, and just let it go and it's fine. But you could also guide it a little bit more and you get more accuracy, or either a higher probability of hit. You can also just yeet the missile out in the direction with an initial radar lock, and it will go towards the point that you sent it. And at that, as soon as it is close enough to try to track the target, it will try to. But that mode is a bit more dangerous, because if you've got friendly aircraft beyond it, it might just lock onto the friendly aircraft. It's just going to lock on to kind of the first thing that it sees. Back to the nearest air threat. 320-43, that's pretty close. MiG-21s should be pretty easy to kill. We pulled really hard, so we ended up going quite slow. We can just barely see our wingman here. Oh, our autopilot switched off because we were outside of autopilot's parameters. So let's get that back on so we hold our altitude. Yeah, the tech in these jets. So I've been mostly playing this recently, but I was playing that World War II flight sim earlier, and in the World War II flight sim, the struggle is flying your aircraft. The struggle in the World War II sim was flying your aircraft, whereas this, it's all about managing your systems. What is this? We'll declare it, see if they'll tell us what it is. Confirmed hostile, all right. So the group that we're talking with on the radio is AWACS. It's a big airplane with a huge radar mounted on top of it. And all it does is fly around in circles and try to detect enemy aircraft. It also has a better IFF suite, so it can tell us where enemy aircraft are, whether things are enemy or not. And I don't think I want to shoot this guy because we've got some friendly aircraft right behind him. And he just got blown out of the sky, it looks like. So he's not worth wasting a missile on. Yeah, his just ejected. We saw the parachute on the targeting pod. So we'll unlock him. We'll request vector to the nearest air threat again. 101 miles away. Okay, so he's quite... There's nobody near us. 292, 101, so that puts them like way out here. If I switch over to this display, that puts them like way out over here if you can see my cursor. So it's not too, that's not terribly far away, but that's pretty close. Missiles, yes, they are pretty darn expensive. The AMRAAMs that we're firing are about $400,000. So they are very expensive. And I don't think you were here for the earlier sortie, but we found an enemy aircraft. And I was like, oh boy, what is this? Let me identify it. And I check it with my targeting pod, and I see it's a biplane, and I go, yeah, that biplane costs a quarter of the value of the missile we're about to send its way, so let's not. But the cost of things tends to scale with the cost of the things that they are killing. So like an AMRAAM is 400,000 US dollars, but the jet it might be killing might be like 20 million plus US dollars. Oh, we got more radar contacts. Friendly. Something is just buzzing us. I can hear it. I can't see it. We have night vision, but the night vision isn't too good, and it prevents me from seeing stuff in my cockpit. Oh. Oh. There it is. Looks like another F-16. We got contrails of something up here. Got something far out. I didn't see an IFF from that. Tell me what this is, AWACS. MiG-23, all right.
Satan 6-1, Magic 4, contact confirmed hostile. ID as MiG-23.
We got a pair of friendly IFFs nearby, so we're gonna fire on this, and we're gonna guide it all the way. He's flying towards us. We're almost at range, no escape. So on the right of the HUD here, there's a little bracket with some numbers and an arrow pointing to the right onto a line. There's a line and there's a boxed line. And when it's in the boxed line, it's range of no escape. We're gonna just fire now though. Fox 1 or Fox 3. Oh, shoot, he just went down. What's this? Another MiG-23, I think.
Magic 4, Satan 6-1, group bullseye 31553 23,000.
We got a furball with one friendly, one bandit. Okay. That doesn't look like a friendly aircraft. Fox 3. Missile's gone pitbull. The enemy was locking us up. That was all those squiggly noises we were hearing.
Engaging. MiG-23, you're on the clock. Low.
Where's that MiG-23? What jet am I using? I am using an F-16. It is a very inexpensive single-engine fighter jet. It is also like one of the most common ones in NATO's arsenal.
Satan, 6-2, on my way.
Did he get him?
2, in position.
Nearest air threat, please.
4, Satan, 6-1. Request vector to threat.
It looks like he got him.
Satan, 6-1, Magic 4, nearest threat, 2, 6, 6, 7, 7.
What was that? What was that?
Hostile Prince 233.
There's so much stuff going on. It's kind of hard to keep up with. Okay, give me that threat report again, please.
4, Satan, 6-1. Request vector to threat.
040,
6-1, Magic 4, nearest threat, 0.
48 nautical miles. Okay.
822,000. Hot. Hostile Prince.
He's hot, coming right at us. Let's try to gain some altitude. I think I see it. Yeah, I am quite fond of the F-16, mostly because I've been playing this game. 22. Uh-oh. 22. That's a stealth aircraft. And it is unfortunately not the F-22, which would be a friendly stealth aircraft. It is a hostile stealth aircraft. What's the most modern jet used in battle? Overall or in this game? Because overall, it's probably the F-35. In this game, I think it's probably... in this game, in this theater, it would be the J-20 that's currently locking me up. Or at least we're seeing it on radar occasionally. We're seeing its radar occasionally. But we have like no hope of seeing this thing on our radar until he is really close. Like within a knife fight distance, and I don't like that very much at all. Yeah, so in the game, it's that J-20. J-20 is very few in number. I think from what people have said, there's like 4 of them in existence. And in this campaign, there's a squadron that has 20 of them, which is just beautiful. Nearest threat, please.
Magic 4, Satan, 6-1. Request vector to threat.
Nothing. Okay, that is not assuring.
Magic 4, I've been calling, but nothing's hit.
Yep, a whole squadron. It's beautiful. But as far as I know, they're so new that NATO hasn't actually given them an RWR code or a reporting code. Yeah, at least as far as I've seen in this, AWACS will give you basically no indication of a stealth aircraft that's anywhere. So you just have to figure it out. And normally how you kind of figure it out is you get a 22 on your RWR display, and you know, oh, that is the radar from a J-20 that's painting me right now. That's not very good. And then if you point your radar in the right direction, you'll see a pair of yellow chevrons indicating that there's something there, but your radar can't lock onto it yet. I'm going to do a left-hand turn. Nice light one, so we keep our energy up. So like these yellow chevrons here are friendly aircraft that are too far out for our radar to pick up. Yeah, and this whole thing would be a lot easier if AWACS could always see all of the enemy aircraft, but unfortunately they don't. That's it's modeled. A search, and it's behind us. What is that? A B has locked us up, and I'm seeing a 2. That's really close, so we're gonna pull hard, and we're gonna turn around because we're entering SAM territory, I think. And I'm actually, my bearing, I'm quite lost. Oh shoot, okay, so we need to egress this direction. Because we are well behind enemy lines. We're gonna go full afterburner. And we're gonna just fly ourselves out of here. Because we're getting painted by targets I was not prepared for or didn't mark at all. You can just barely see the afterburner thrust of our wingman. All right, we'll pull out of afterburner and just fly regular. Turn a bit to our left. Get an SA-15 off our left. Oh, that's that bugger that... There's that 22. Oh boy. We may have gotten ourselves in a real bad position here.
Magic 4, Satan 6-1. Request vector to threat.
15039.
1, Magic 4, nearest threat, 15039, hold. Hostile print 2 ship.
Print 2 ship. So that was probably the 22 in front of us. Yeah, that's what AWACS has just called in for us. So it's now close enough to AWACS for it to see. Let's just do IFF check. We'll push our radar out a little bit and we'll see those more yellow chevrons here. Declare. Confirmed hostile. Is that a 22 maybe? There's no way at this range that I've got it locked up though.
1, Magic 4, contact confirmed hostile.
We've only got one AMRAAM left and then a bunch of, or a pair of Sidewinders. And it doesn't look like there's any hope of me hitting it with missiles from the indications I've got. And what's this?
Magic 4, Satan 6-1. Group bullseye 020.
Confirmed hostile.
24,000. Declare.
I'm betting an SU-30.
4, contact confirmed hostile.
Yeah, difference in tech is a massive role. What is this thing? We know it's a hostile. I can't see it close enough on that targeting pod. So we're going to assume 17 nautical mile minimum abort range. I'm going to throw some afterburner because we got plenty of fuel. I'm going to try to climb a bit. Box 3. God, those Sidewinders are annoying. Oh God. That is 3 J-20s on my RWR. I don't like this one bit. Cheap shot, I don't know what that means. I think it probably means it didn't track. So we're gonna turn and burn. We're gonna try to get out of here. Now we've only got 6,400 pounds of fuel. We can now jettison our fuel tanks. And tell our wingman to do the same. Try to run this picket. And we'll have no idea if we actually hit anything with any of our missiles until we finish this mission. That Su-30, man, is well behind our lines, it looks like. Vector threat. 26. Oh boy.
Satan 6-1, Magic 4, nearest threat up 10026.
Engaging. 7 o'clock. Medium.
He's got me locked up.
Stop, flare, stop, flare. Stop, flare. Stop, flare. Stop, flare.
I can't even see where they are. Box 2. I think that was actually just our ally because I'm dumb. Okay. Where's that J-20 though? I'm getting locked by other things. And it's not a good position to be in. Oh crap, there's an Su-30. Oh no, I lost my bearings quite bad. We are gonna dive just a bit. Get back onto a vector to base. Okay, now those Su-20, those J-20s are in front of us. Come on, where is this guy? I can't even see him. He's back into my left. As far as I know with the Sidewinders, I basically have to, I have to see them. And then I have to, what I can do though, unlike the air-to-air missile, or the radar missiles, is when I'm in this override mode where they're very loud, Thank God I can actually turn that down. I can press a button, and that lets me draw their diamond to my head tracking out to about 90 degrees. It's more like 80 in any direction. And so if I like see him up here, I can just hit the button, try to tell it to lock onto him. The loud noise is the sound of what the Sidewinder's heat-seeking head is seeing. So that's why you get a nicer tone when it actually locks up something. .22, like right behind us. It's got us locked up too. All right, now it doesn't. As our fuel doing 4,300 pounds, we're still good to get back to base. Okay, let's cruise, home, enter. Ideal altitude is quite high, so we're going to climb a bit. This page is telling me information I need to know to find, to make most efficient use of my fuel. So while we could probably get back to base with no problem, it is best to not really risk it. And let's see, our intercept point minimum fuel 3,800 pounds. So we're well above that, so we should get back to base no problem. What's the most technologically advanced fighter currently in use in real life? Probably the F-35. So the F-35 is a, well, the way I see it, it's kind of like the successor to the F-16. The F-16's intent was it was supposed to be a very capable, but fairly cheap to manufacture and maintain, because there are a lot of design considerations for how it would be maintained and everything, rather than going for outright all performance. The F-35, it's supposed to cost less to procure per aircraft than an F-16 and less to maintain per year than an F-16. And it similarly has a singular engine, and it's also a stealth aircraft, which gives it the big advantage. Like what we're seeing right here with these J-20s, it makes it really hard to actually shoot it down. And going up against one in a non-stealth aircraft is kind of a death sentence because you have to get just so darn close. And there's another one in front of me. Holy Jesus Christ! How many of these things are there? It's off my left. I don't even see it. Yeah, this is like the worst nightmare, trying to find one of these things at night without any ability to radar. It's like going back to World War I night fighting almost. Yeah, I pissed China off, I guess. I don't know what I did, but I definitely did. And it's hard enough finding these things in the day. Oh, I think I see it. But he's way too far out for me to lock up. And we don't really have enough fuel to try to go after him. Yeah, I've read accounts of people night fighting in World War II before radar was a thing. And it sounds pretty sucky because it's like, before aircraft-mounted radars were a thing. But it sounds pretty sucky because you have situations where it's like, hey, yeah, air traffic, you have a fixed radar station that finds the enemy aircraft, and then they vector you onto it, and then it's like, all right, yeah, you're vectored onto it. Good luck finding it. It's the middle of the night. And in one of those cases, the pilot I was reading about, Robert Tuck from the Royal Air Force, he took his Mark 1 eyeball and squinted real hard and looked around, and eventually he saw a little faint glowing red because the exhaust in an aircraft, the exhaust from an aircraft, there's no like muffler or anything, so it's just the exhaust pipe right out of the engine, and they glow red hot, and you can see the exhaust fire coming out of them sometimes. So he looked real hard, and he saw that for a German aircraft and shot it down in the middle of the night. And yeah, friendly fire, a big issue back then. Yeah, I've been when I've been playing that IL-2 World War II flight sim, and I turned off the markers, so I don't have any identifying markers over the aircraft. I had to put up a pair of ID charts for aircraft, allied and enemy, so I can look at a silhouette of an aircraft and try to identify what it is based off of just silhouette features. Because usually you're too far out to see any distinguishing marks on them. The warm sound of multiple Patriot missile systems locking you up. And let's get set for an ILS landing just in case we need it. So we'll put ILS frequency 110.3. Runway heading, we actually don't know. 180 maybe. It says we're going to be landing on runway 18, but I don't know how much I believe that. Because ATC tends to route us to kind of wherever they feel like. And let's switch to our approach frequency. Call up the tower. I passed it. Request unrestricted approach.
6-1, S-16, 25 miles, northeast, 25,000, inbound for free landing.
Good evening, Satan 6-1. You're in a sound approach. Continue inbound, the straight-in approach, runway 36. Welcome back.
QNH 2976. There we go. Start our descent. Turn autopilot off so it stops fighting us. Got an F-16 in front of us. Yeah, I imagine. And, you know, another thing that's kind of been fun to learn between that IL-2 World War II flight sim game I'd been playing and this is a lot more procedure oriented. So, like, you have like all sorts of stuff that you have to do to like your landings are very precise. There's all sorts of instrumentation that tells you how to do it, and there's if you can't see the runway to do a visual landing, you have ILS for landing as well, and all sorts of procedures you have to do, like requesting clearance for landing and all that. Whereas the World War II flight sim, it was just kind of, oh, you're gonna land, well, you eyeball it. And you maintain your speed and hope you have roughly the right angle, and everything should hopefully work out. Yeah, threats from the ground and air. Yeah, that's why in the early hours of this campaign, the number one priority was enemy aircraft. Number two priority was enemy air defenses. So we'd fly in and take out enemy air defenses while other aircraft covered you from enemy aircraft. And that gives you some room to work with so that you don't have to worry about all of them at once. And we were actually overflying our target. Oh, I didn't realize how close we were. Let's request an approach again and see where they tell us which runway, because I forgot.
Northwest, 11,000, inbound for free landing.
No response. Request landing.
Satan 6-1, S-16, inbound for landing.
Runway 36, okay.
Sound Tower. Continue inbound for runway 36. Report on final.
So runway 36 is landing from this direction. So we're gonna have to turn 180 and fly back. Gonna try to descend to about 2,000 feet, then make our turn. Thankfully, weather is nice, so we don't have to make an ILS approach, and we can make a visual approach all the way in. All right, we're down to about 2,300, and we got to turn harder. So we overshot the runway bearing. I kind of expected that. But we're now slow enough, we can put our gear down, and we can drop our speed brakes. Oh yeah, the man-portable air defenses, which are the shoulder-fired ones, are Wingman survived? No, he didn't. I don't see him on data link. Or actually, I'm on the wrong frequency for data link even, so I wouldn't know. That could be him behind us, but I doubt it. But yeah, man-portable air defenses are a very scary thing for pilots, which is why when I set up for flight in this, I set that 15,000 feet altitude warning. And that just tells me, that makes it so that when I descend past 15,000 feet, the aircraft will warn me altitude. And I know in that case I've descended past 15,000 feet and I'm within range of man-portable air defenses.
Satan 6-1, Kunshan Tower, wing 300.
Oh, we're too slow.
Runway 36.
Okay.
Cleared for landing. Check gear down.
I'm going to have to stop talking to chat while we're landing. Okay, we're too high. We've got to come down. Let me throttle back up a little bit because we're right on glide slope. We're a little high, but that's not a problem. Our AOA is fine. All right, 2 whites is perfect. We bounced, hit a little hard. Let's maintain our flare. So what I'm doing right now is we don't actually have all 3 wheels on the ground. We've got the front wheel up, and we're pitched up about 10 degrees because that's doing some aero braking for us. That'll slow us down without having to use our brakes. And then we can use our wheel brakes. We'll switch to the taxi lights so we can actually see where our turnoffs are. And we're going to hit that one. Oh, just barely. Nose wheel steering on. We'll turn. Make a tight turn here. Should be able to make it, no problem. There we go.
Satan 6-1, contact below. Switch to 73525.
Yeah, so let me just cover a couple things before we end the mission. So first off, yeah, the man pads are extremely scary, especially because all of them are infrared. And on a jet like the F-16, basically any jet with the exception of a couple that have systems that I don't expect them to work perfectly yet because they're brand new pretty much. You don't get a warning for IR missiles. So if somebody shoots an infrared missile, be it a man pad or some kind of SAM that is just IR guided, or that Sidewinder I fired, the aircraft that it's locked onto gets no warning because that missile's not emitting any radar signature. It's just receiving the infrared signature of the aircraft. So you don't get any warning. You have to look around and you have to see somebody launched that at you to know, or you have to guess, hey, right now I gotta hit my countermeasure button just in case they launched. So man pads are very scary, which is why aircraft in areas where there might be man pads operate above the man pad ceiling or floor, depending on aircraft perspective or man pad launcher perspective. Then one thing I wanted to explain with landing that I didn't really get to because we were in the middle of landing is I've got this flight path marker. So it's, a circle with 2 lines on either side and then a line at the top. So when landing, you have to do a couple things in the F-16. First off, you want to put that flight path indicator just below this extra dashed line we get here. So there's a 5-degree down line, and then there's this 2.5 degree. We got to put that just below that, and we have to put that right on the runway. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to put this bracket here on it, and this little indicator here will tell you how you have to manage that, either by yellow brackets meaning decrease speed, green circle saying you're on, you're good, and then a red one meaning you got to speed up, you're too slow. So if you follow that and that, you're going to be on the ideal landing angle, the ideal glide slope, as well as the ideal angle of attack for landing and flaring for landing, so you come down at the right speed. But then the other thing is that there's a light off to the side of the runway. You might have seen it. It had, when we touched down, it was 2 whites and 2 reds. And that tells you where you are in, where you're going to be touching down, where your glide slope basically is positioned. So it can have anywhere between 4 whites and 4 reds, and you want 2 whites, 2 reds for the ideal spot. Too many reds means you're too low. Too many whites means you're too high. So that's the basics of landing, but that makes landing more of a science and a lot simpler.
A court of inquiry has found insufficient evidence to charge the accused under Articles
Oops.
119 and 92 of the UCMJ
Uh-oh.
for friendly fire deaths of U.S. or Allied service personnel. However, a censure has been entered into the personnel records of the accused.
We got in trouble. But that was totally my bad, because I got... yeah, I'm pretty sure it was my wingman. I fired that missile, and then I immediately went and zoomed in and looked and said, oh shit, that's an F-16 that I just fired at. Okay, so we actually got 3 hits with our AMRAAMs. So we can check TAC view and see what the heck happened. What happens when you friendly fire? Well, you shot down your teammate, and that's very bad. And he is not confirmed dead. Hopefully he's still alive. He did say he was punching out. So we can see TAC view. Here we go. We took off. We flew our direction. We have a whole bunch of friendly aircraft going on. There's an Su-25. There's a Q-5N, and there's a J-20 that was off our left. Yeah, I remember seeing him on our RWR. And then here's that AMRAAM that we yeeted without pitbulling it. But it fired into a cluster of enemies and smashed right into an Su-25, which is good. I don't think it actually went down, though. Let's get back to our flight. So here's me. And then we flew around. Oh, I forgot to switch that over. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, so back. Here's that AMRAAM I fired. We fired it, and then we immediately dove, so we didn't guide it to the target, but it was fired at this cluster of things, so it sees a whole cluster of enemies, and it turns its radar on, and it was originally fired at this Su-25 from the looks of it, but it turns its radar on, and it sees, hey, this guy is right here, and just smash right into him. And then we flew around a bit more, trying to find targets. And you can see these red bubbles are anti-air that we can see within our radius of sight that TAC view has, or at least the radius of what's generated. We had a pair of Q-5Ns crash right in front of us because these FA-18s are really doing work. They're often doing pretty darn good work. So we flew, I didn't realize we were flying this deep into enemy territory, but we fired an AIM-1, yeah, we fired an AMRAAM, and it failed to track on whatever we were shooting at. I think it was that MiG-23 that we saw was immediately going down. Oh, and then we fired another AMRAAM at it and hit it. Okay, I don't think it was actually going down in that case. So at this point, we're way overextended, way far away from where we should have been, but I got distracted and I wasn't checking my situation display. And we had some FA-18s shoot down a pair of J-20s, and yeah, those FA-18s are really doing good work. And then we started saying, let's get the hell out of here. We shot down an IL-78. I saw that in our list, so somehow this guy is probably going to get shot down by us, probably by an AMRAAM that failed to track the right target. Right here, yeah. So we thought we were locked onto a J-20, but it was actually that IL-28, which is either a transport or a ground attack. We'll look that up in a second. Sucks to be that guy. And then, yeah, so here's J-20's behind us. And then, yeah, the embarrassing moment. And then we try to egress, and we fly like right over these guys. This is why I couldn't find them, because I was expecting them to be at my altitude, slightly below or above, but they were basically on the deck. They were at 3,000 feet, so there was basically no way I was going to see them. Yeah, it's hard to pick out an aircraft against the ground, especially at night. And I'm surprised that they didn't see me. And then some people swarming some FA-18s mercilessly swarming these AN-2s here. Why are these biplanes flying into our territory? That is an awful, awful idea. And then we flew back. And there's that J-20 that we saw on the way back up here. He got mobbed by some Harriers. Or, yeah, Harrier and some FA-18s. Yeah, FA-18s again. Boy, those guys are really pulling their weight. FA-18 probably, because it has a lot more payload. They both carry the same weapon systems, but I think the FA-18 has a slightly better radar. I don't really know that for sure because I haven't done much with the FA-18. This game is all oriented around the F-16. And I know you asked the question earlier, is the F-16 the most modern jet you can use in these missions? Kind of yes, kind of no. So the long answer is that this game does have other aircraft, but they're not really modeled very well at all. Because this game was originally a F-16 simulator that came out in 1998. Okay, so this was a mission that got aborted. This was a bar cap. They aborted, okay. You got pushed back a lot. So the last stream you saw was probably a different campaign because we haven't really changed our front line much at all. So that first campaign I was doing, the first time I was streaming doing a campaign in this game, China got involved like day 1, hour 5, and started kicking our teeth in. And we would scramble everything and not be able to even come close to fielding the numbers of aircraft that they would. This we're doing a lot better because we're actually wiping out quite a few things around here. And there's this HQ group. Let's see what these guys are. Nope, don't add a package. What are these? HQ battalion. Okay, so this is that battalion I attacked before. Excuse me. Before I found them, they were out here. And I saw their SA-15s, and I shot some anti-radar missiles at them and took them out. Oh, God. So each one of these arrows is probably not a singular fighter. It's probably a group of 2 or 4 fighters. And there's a whole bunch of them. So we're going to add more packages. Let's do a bar cap. All right. So bar cap is barrier cap. It's basically the aircraft are going to fly between this point 3 and 4 back and forth for 30 minutes and make sure that there are no enemy aircraft ingressing our airspace. Yeah, our next wingman is going to be very scared. Although, as for the reputation I have, my wingmen keep dying, so I think they were scared before. We'll add another bar cap package to aircraft. Okay. Then another one here, because we really have to do something about these enemy aircraft. And we can go to Intel and we can go to force levels and see what's going on. And we can see that the enemy aircraft number is slightly decreasing. I wish we could get intel on where these enemy aircraft were sorting from, because we look at the airbase and it just tells us that it's an airbase and it doesn't tell us what's on it. But I suspect that we probably want to hit this airbase at some point. Actually, let's recon that again and see. This airbase is like heavily damaged. Okay, it's 20% operational. That's good to hear. This one is 100% operational, so we're going to want to hit that at some point, but there's a whole lot of enemy aircraft here. So we could extend this bar cap out to here. And then we can add another package, new bar cap. Actually, let's do an interception. That's just going to be us. We don't have enough aircraft for this. Okay, I kind of expected that. Our squadron has 11 aircraft left. Not very good. Not very good at all. Do we have 1 aircraft to spare for this? For my shenanigans? Nope. Okay. This is 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 of our 11 aircraft, and the other ones are probably down for whatever reason. We could add a package at a later time. Bump it out like 20 minutes. Interception, 2, not enough aircraft. Oops. We lost a lot of aircraft. Well, let's see. We've killed 49 enemy aircraft for our losses of 21. We've flown 20 missions total for 21 aircraft, so we've lost an average of 1 aircraft per mission. Our morale is high and our supply is full. Our next resupply is 800 Zulu time, and it's 15, almost 1600 hours. God, that's quite a ways away for our next supply. we are not going to hold out for that well. So in that case, let's delete this package because it's not supposed to be DCA, it's supposed to be a bar cap. We'll add a package, new, bar cap, all right. We're going to probably pull back some of our forces. And we're just going to have them patrol near our base, so that way we don't have anything sneaky come up on us. We'll pull this one in just a smidge. Loadout looks good. Let's plop ourselves down in one of these. Oh, no, not take off, cancel. Loadout. We want that sniper pod again. All right, data cartridge, comms, com plan, IFF plan, save. Data cartridge saved. Briefing. No known enemy air defenses along the flight path, good. All right, let's take off for our last mission tonight. And hopefully we'll do well this mission. Let me switch over to the regular game capture. Time to clap some J20s. I wish. Although the first time I or not the first time, but the second time I encountered them, because the first time I encountered them, I saw the 20 and thought 20, or I saw 22 and thought 22. It must be an F-22 Raptor, and then I got killed by a missile. There's yeah, not an F-22. All right, let's get our aircraft ready. So main power on. I turned on my spotlight so we can actually see what we're doing. Fuel to normal. IFF to norm. Probe heat on. Lights on. Engine to start 2. Air source to normal. Close our canopy. I disagree how funny that is. I think it's very not funny, but that's just me. And our comm panel, turn our comms on, and just look at how alien looking this throttle is with its buttons and everything placed everywhere. It's odd, very odd. All right, and we are good to put our throttle to idle. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons because there's a lot of things that you got to do with the throttle. I know people for PC gaming say, "Oh yeah, I've got a HOTAS for flying," and usually they just mean that they've got a throttle and stick, but the acronym means hands-on throttle and stick, and it was actually a different concept of you can do the majority of the functions that you need to do for the aircraft without taking your hands off the throttle and the stick. Because like on this, you've got your pickle, which is your fire button. You also have a trigger, which is for something else. But then you've got 4 hat switches, one for trim. One of these 2 is TMS, which is your target management switch. The other is DMS, which is display management switch. And then this one is your countermeasures management. And then the throttle has more stuff like you've got a comm switch, which changes which channel you're transmitting on and operates your data link. You've got an antenna elevation knob. You've got a missile uncage. I think it actually says it right there. Manual range uncage there. Back there is your transmit switch. You've got your speed brake switch. So you got a whole bunch of functions that you need. And you also have a thing that operates your radar cursor. Okay, our engine is on, so let's seal our canopy. Avionics on. Hardpoints on, fire control radar on, radar altimeter on, lights on. Turn off the spotlights because we now have interior lighting working. Yep, all the important stuff. Now, what is funny is that there's this little button here on the wall. You might be able to see it. It's hard to see, but it says chaff on it. That's what's called as the left wall slap switch, which most people set to dispense 1 chaff and 1 flare. So if you're like, some missile has been fired at me and you don't want to think about whether you need chaff or flare, you just slap that. And that's pretty much what I hit all the time. All right, let's reset this bit. Hit the FAC button. Then load our data cartridge. And while our data cartridge is loading, let's go to our HMCS, head-mounted queuing system, which we actually didn't turn on yet. Let's turn on our RWR, turn on our countermeasures, our countermeasure dispensers, turn on our HMCS head-mounted queuing system, turn our mode into auto. Taxi lights on. So yeah, this is our head-mounted queuing system. It's very useful. It's what lets us target the sidewinders high off of the front of our aircraft. And we have to align this to make that work. Align okay, good. Yeah, it is in the perfect spot where you can slam it, because you just got to take your hand off the throttle and smack it just a bit. I actually just have it bound as a button on my throttle that I smack whenever I need emergency countermeasures. Okay, what am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something important. It's closed. Fire control radar is on and bit test. ILS turn on. Missile, will turn the missile up just a smidge so that they don't deafen me. Yeah, our comms were off, weren't they? Nope, they were on. .2, UHF 2, preset 2. Remove the EPU. Let's hit our parking brake. Remove the chocks. Request taxi for departure.
Gamble, 7, 2-shift, F-16s. Request taxi.
Good evening. Gamble 7, you're number 2 for departure. Taxi Alpha. Then hold short, runway 36.
All right, runway 36. Here we come. And we are in the tree. Okay. Nose wheel steering. Now we're number 2 for departure, and they told us to hold short runway 36, so we're going to have to pull off to the parking spots. Make sure that we're not in the way of whoever needs to take off before us.
Gamble, 7-1, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 29230.
And our altimeter on. Get this out of standby. Are we gamble? I think we are. Yeah, we're gamble 7.
F-16s, ready for departure.
Gamble 7, hold short.
We'll request it again.
Gamble 7, 2-shift, F-16s, ready for departure.
Gamble 7, Kunsan Tower, wing 300 at 2 knots, runway 36. You are cleared for takeoff.
And now our wingman's taxiing because it's a little odd. I wish there was a way to... at some point I will have to look up and see if there's a way to tell your wingman to taxi with you, even though it's not your departure time yet. Oh. Just don't mind me suddenly hitting my INS into actually nav and, from a line now after we've started moving. No big deal, not in the slightest. Actually, that might be a problem. I think we're a little further away from our waypoint 1 than we should be. But we'll hope it goes well. All right. Rotation speed should again be 155. Rotate. Gear up.
Gamble 7-1, contact departure.
Contact departure.
Gamble 7, airborne, 2-shift, F-16 airborne.
Heading 045.
Fly heading 045. Resume all navigation.
And onto the AWACS frequency and nearest air threat.
On my way. Gamble 7-1, request vector to threat.
Gamble 7, Sentry 1, I'm controlling, but nothing's good.
Nothing, that's good news, good news. Although AWACS saying nothing might mean there's a whole mess of J-20s out here. And I'm not too keen to find them. Let's get our autopilot into attitude hold. Man, I just immediately proceeded to forget what the heck the word for autopilot was. Let's pitch up a bit more and climb a bit more steeply. 18 on our RWR. I do also have my RWR up on my second monitor, the one I use for chat. So sometimes I'll look at this one. Other times, if I want to maintain the ability to see HUD, I'll look up at the one to my left monitor. Whereas my MFDs I have on my monitor below my main monitor. Friendly contacts off to our right. All right, we're starting to lose quite a bit of speed, so let's pitch down a bit, switch to about a 5-degree climb. And this is where that autopilot override is really nice, because I can just autopilot override, put my attitude as something different, release, and then it's going to hold that. All right, finally, 2 is in position. Oh, let's hand off our RWR. It's good to not forget that. And then, since we're roughly entering the AO, let's fence in, turn off our lights, tell our wingman to do the same. Sorry, wingman, your life expectancy on this mission is about 10 to 15 minutes. And we're going to probably climb to about 30,000 feet so we have an altitude advantage. Because altitude advantages in World War II were big because they gave you more energy to maneuver with. In this, that gives you more energy to maneuver with, but also gives your missiles more energy to maneuver with. So the higher up you are compared to your target, the farther the range of your missile actually is. Because contrary to what most people think, missiles don't... you don't fire a missile and then it thrusts all the way to the target. It fires its motor for just a little bit of time and then glides the rest of the way to the target. And people use that to their advantage to dodge the missiles, but I haven't really learned that too well yet, which is why I get hit by missiles every 5 seconds. '50s, that's friendly air defense. Yeah, the last time I had read about missile dodging, it said you gotta find the missile, put it 90 degrees. So like if, you know, we'd put a missile like right here to our 90 degrees to our left, and then we would roll to put it directly above us, and then we would pull hard into it while going full afterburner. And the problem with that is, how do you find said missile to see where it is? That's not easy. Got some contacts front. It's like 4 of something. Declare. MiG-19. We're going to level off. Bear towards them. Missile override mode. Targeting pod. Let's get this online. It's not timed out. Oh, great. It's not on yet. Alt CP. Bring up the knee boards. What did they say these were? Declare.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1, crew, bullseye, 22026, 14,000. Declare.
MiG-19. Minimum abort range of 7. That's not too bad. Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot to turn our ECM on. That would help. Turn off our autopilot. So we got the missile firing queue up here. Once that carrot gets into the box section, we'll fire. Because that means he is at range no escape. Box 3.
One, box 3 medium. One, pinball.
Caution. Caution.
Stores category. Let's fix that. He is below us now. Q2 to clear.
Sentry 1, gamble, 7-1, group, bullseye, 2-3-0-2-3, 21,000. Declare.
One friendly, one bandit. I can't tell. That looks like a Harrier, roughly. That looks like a MiG. Attack my target.
Gamble, 7-2, engage. Target, Rob, 0-7-0-1-0, 17,000. 2, Wilco.
Not gonna fire. Fox 3.
1, box 3 medium. 2, box 3 trouble.
Splash! Nice, got him. Vector to threat, vector to threat. We don't know where things are right now.
7-1, request vector to threat.
Alright, let's turn around because we flew right into these guys.
Chaff. Flare.
What was that nearest target?
Sentry 1, gamble, 7-1, request vector to threat.
0.
Gamble 7-1, Sentry 1, nearest threat, 2-7-5-0-18,000. Meaning, hostile Prince 19, Singleton.
Gamble, 7-2, on my way.
At zero, we can't see him on radar because he's below our radar. And my radar elevation is at minimum, and it's seeing, like, at point blank range 12,000 feet. Nearest threat,
Gamble, 7-1, request vector to threat.
330,
Sentry 1,
14,000 feet.
30-14,000. Hostile Prince 19, Singleton.
Get our radar back out. 330, 14,000 feet. Let's make sure our radar is down enough to see that. It should be. Twitch saying, welcome to the chat room. Thanks, Twitch, but I've been here. We got a contact. Friendly, looks like. So you can see that when up against things as outdated as a MiG-19, a pilot with basically no BVR combat skills can take them out with quite ease. What is this? Right in front of us. Ooh, didn't declare it. Declare, what is it? A group of 3 things. I really need an ID chart for these things. Do fighter jets use guns anymore? Usually not, but they still mount them. So I still have a gun on this, but it only has a very limited amount of ammo. It's got 510 rounds, and being that it's a 20 millimeter, like 20 millimeter rotary auto cannon, so it's like a minigun. Its fire rate is in the thousands of rounds per minute, so it's a very, very short duration of fire that you can get. But if I go to this override mode, actually there we go. You can see that gun cross is where my gun is aimed, and then there's a funnel for where the bullets are going to land. Yeah, they're pretty obsolete versus air right now, because if you notice that what's going on, we're generally knocking things out before we get into range where we could even see them to get a gun solution on them. Now, the gun sights are very, very good. If you end up, for some reason, close enough that you can use your guns, they're quite easy to use, because your radar locks up the target, and then it gives you information on exactly where you need to put the gun, your gun cross to hit things. We're gonna do a 180 because we saw those enemies, but if we try to follow them, they're gonna drag us out quite a ways. And as for effectiveness on an aircraft, like how much damage they'll do, a very small burst will absolutely destroy or pretty much make an aircraft combat ineffective. But a singular missile will do the same. I think this was a friendly, not a standby. Why are you? Oh, because we're not in MRM mode. Oh, that's a MiG. And it's crashing. Vector to threat. 306. 66 nautical miles, so that's quite a ways away. We don't have to worry about them. We'll go back to our designated point. Altitude hold, steering select. Let autopilot take us back. What the hell was that? Just heard something like boom off our side. 50 locking us, or passing its radar over us. It's fine. FA-18, all right. Something like right below us. Looks like friendlies. Another FA-18. Climb up a bit more before we hit this waypoint. More radar contacts. I expect they're friendly. Yep, they're friendly. Pretty useful against the biplanes. Sure. They definitely rip them apart, but I don't know. Depending on the situation, I think I'd rather throw a Sidewinder in their direction. Just because to get a good gun solution on those biplanes, you have to come down to their altitude, and I'd really prefer not to do that because there might be enemy man-portable air defense around. What do biplanes even do in this? Well, they're the AN-2, which is like a transport aircraft. I don't see the rationale of flying around in one because somebody can just blow you out of the sky with an AMRAAM from many miles away. So I think you'd be better off in a Jeep, and the Jeep might be faster than the AN-2, in fact, because biplanes are really slow. Oh, wrong button. I meant to hit Q and request nearest air threat. Trolling, but nothing's bit. Okay. Let's switch to altitude hold again, because we were climbing. We're going to be like that obsessive girlfriend that calls up their boyfriend every 5 minutes. Hey, tell me something. Hey, tell me something. Hey, did you find something for me yet? Come on, tell me.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1. Request package of threat.
91, 293, 91, 21, MiG-29. I have so much trouble getting all these numbers to stay in my head. Oh my god. Oh, we got a contact at... looks like it's a friendly. Yeah, something's squawking way out there. Oh, what's this? Okay, that's another friendly. Oh, and squawk is shorthand for transmitting IFF. Or it might actually be specifically for transponders, but I'm not entirely sure. So where is the moon tonight? Do we have clouds above us, it looks like? So maybe we're not getting any moon through the clouds. And let's check when we're supposed to actually leave this cap mission. Oh, no, it's an intercept. Oh, no, I have the wrong knee boards up. Okay, so I don't even know. We'll turn back around, fly our cold leg. $18 and an 19. Hang on there, pal. Nearest air threat. 15 and an 18, okay. We're getting pretty close to that, so let's turn. We're gonna turn off autopilot and we're gonna turn harder because we're getting pretty close to that SAM and I don't want it to be any closer than I am. I do not want that SAM I am. He is trying to lock onto us, so we're really gonna burn away. All right, we managed to avoid him. So as what is that our wingman? Yes, that is. But as far as I understand it, the best way to avoid missiles is to not to get too close to things and then turn around and fly fast. Let's request a vector to threat to make sure something's not coming up behind us. Cold, MiG-29, okay, that's no big deal. One of these days I'll be taking a drink and then the RWR will light up and it'll be like, oh yes, this thing right next to you. And it's locked you, and it's fired a missile, and I'll just like have to spit out and drop my drink and evasive maneuvers. FA-18 in front of us, all right. Oh wait, actually, I am a little dumb. Because we have a steer point page. Let's turn off our autopilot real quick. And we can see that waypoint 5, we're supposed to be there 1725. And then it's 1649. Okay. Man, that's a long time that they want us to be out here. Vector to threat.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1. Request vector to threat.
Same cold MiG-29. It's probably just leaving away, and very scared of all these FA-18s that we're seeing now. Holy crap, this is a lot of them. Alright, time to turn around and come back. So today I'm also a little tense because I went to the grocery store, got back, and as I was bringing my groceries in, a wasp got into my apartment, and I have no idea where the thing is. Like no clue at all. It was in here, and I haven't seen it at all since. It flew into a lamp, and I smacked around on the lamp, and thought I could get it to, you know, be angry, and I'd smack it. But I can't find it. I don't know if, like, did it fly into the lamp and die or something? I got no idea. But I'm terrified. I'm just gonna, like, touch something and it's gonna get angry and sting me, and it's gonna suck. I don't mind bees because bees aren't dicks. Wasps are dicks at all times. Well, not all times, but wasps in the spring and summer generally are pretty tame. But when you get to the late summer, the wasps, they after they've laid their eggs and they're basically done with reproducing, they literally exist for no reason at all because they've served their purpose in life, and so they just get a craving for sweets and don't care if they die getting it. Which is why you really get wasps very angry in the late summer and fall. And they are suddenly out in force because we've had weather that was too cold for bugs up until basically today, and we just went from like 55-degree weather to 80. We're at 7,600 pounds of fuel. When we hit 7,400, we can jettison our tanks. And then we don't have to deal with the weight of those tanks. Now, as much as I don't like stinging insects, I must say I'm fond of the Hornets. That is the F and FA-18 Hornet. The guys that have been really pulling their weight in this campaign for us. Dogfighting with those J-20s and coming out on top every time. Like, oh boy. Okay, so I'm seeing that in this area, I'm going to have to go for another destruction of enemy air defense mission. And I do know, well, we know from our RWR that there's at least one SA-15, which is a short-range air defense, operating in this area. While it's short-range, it's not a huge threat, but it is potentially a very big threat if we're not paying attention, as they're short-range, but they're quite deadly. And I also know from intel that it was around here before. All right, we're going to turn back. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to do this, because we're supposed to do this for like another 35 minutes. There's no way that time is right. Yeah, it said 17:25. There's no way that time is right. We're not going to have enough fuel to stay on station that long. And in fact, we are... what was that noise? Okay. Jettison. Tank 1, Tank 2. Master Arm is on. Pickle. And they're away. So now those tanks are off our wings, and we're a lot lighter. Can maneuver quite much better. And we'll tell our wingman to do the same. Drop stores.
Gamble, 7-2, drop stores. 2.
All right, let's ask vector for nearest threat.
Gamble, 7-1, request vector to threat.
Cold, hot. So it's that MiG-29, it came closer. 291 is behind us. So he's in our sector. We'll do another racetrack of this and see if we can't see him. If we don't, then we're just gonna leave. FA-18 in front of us, okay. And that's our wingman off our left. See him pop up. Yep, there he is. And data link. Specifically, how I can tell where he is with data link is I hit a button, and then he pops up as that little half circle with a line. So it says 2, which is his number, because he is number 2. And then hit it again. You'll see that there's 28, which is should be his altitude. I kind of assume, because I don't know that for sure. And also, the worst thing about this wasp is, like, occasionally I feel little prickles on my leg, and I'm like, I just think, oh God, is it on my leg? And it's making my skin crawl. Still see that contrail from our wingman over there. It's all good. Let's request vector nearest threat. That same MiG-29, so yeah, he was at 75, now he's at 103, that makes sense. And we will increment to our next waypoint. We'll come back around, we'll do one final sweep, see if he's there, because he is in our sector. And then if we don't find him, we'll leave. And I'll try to talk through this landing a little more. Assuming we survive long enough to land. Fuel's down to 6,600 pounds, all right. More FA-18s, an F-16 radar, all right. And that diamond we're seeing, that's our waypoint that is shown to our head-mounted queuing system, just for a little bit better situational awareness. Certainly is a nice feature. All right, we got some contacts. Let's see if we can't IFF interrogate them, and they're all friendly, it looks like. Let's request nearest air threat. Zero. 02033 14,000. He's close. Two ship. That is these guys right here.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1, group, bullseye, 02017, 14,000. Declare.
Gamble, 7-1, Sentry 1, contact confirmed hostile.
Wait, we have 2 AMRAAMs left. What's going on? Okay, there we go. 2 AIM-120Bs. They're ready. Good. Fox 3.
1, Fox 3 medium.
Oh, we can't break quite yet. Can't break quite yet. Pitbull, break. And splash. All right. Vector to nearest air threat. Let's see if we can't find another.
7-1, request vector to threat.
345.
7-1, Sentry 1, nearest threat, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12,000. Hot, hostile, Prince, MiG-19, 2 ship.
Ooh, we're stalling. Oops. Pulling too hard. 345. He's really close. Let's get antenna elevation down, 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 down. Nearest air target, route nearest air target.
7-1, request vector to threat.
295.
Sentry 1,
295 that's left.
9, 5, 7, 14,000. Bragging, hostile, Prince, MiG-19, Singleton.
They said 14. Oh, there he is. Declare.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1, group, bullseye, 290.
1 contact, confirmed hostile. All right. Let's get aimed on him. We're right within range. No escape for him already. Fox 3.
1, Fox 3 medium. 1, Pitbull.
Targeting pod. Oh, we can see the missile coming. Ah, and splash. Okay, that's a good way to end this. All right. That's a good end to our night. Let's get our waypoint up to waypoint 5. We will altitude hold, steering select. We'll fly out. Nearest air target, just in case there's any more left.
Gamble, 7-1, request vector to threat.
150 2000. 14.
0, 1, 5, 4, 2, 20,000. Hot, hostile, Prince, MiG-19, 2 ship.
So MiG-19s, they're somewhere out here. They're behind us 40 miles. We'll probably get away from them fast enough, so we shouldn't worry about them. Hey, Rizu. Thanks for stopping by. I am heading back to finish this sortie, and once I'm done with this flight, I'm going to wrap up stream anyway. We just took out, like, what, 4 enemy aircraft in this? We did pretty well. Let's get our radar range back out so we can see anything that might be in front of us as we're returning to base. Let's ask for that vector to nearest air target.
Gamble 7-1. Request vectors of threat.
Gamble 7-1, Sentry 1, nearest threat, 02545.
025, 45 nautical miles. Okay. So they're not getting any closer to us. There's something up here. Probably a friendly aircraft. F-18, more 16s on our RWR. Patriot, okay. Another Patriot. Yeah, we're getting closer to our airfield. We're like 65 nautical miles out. We're down to 5,500 pounds of fuel, so we got plenty of fuel. Our bingo fuel amount's usually like 1,500, and it should be enough to get you quite a ways. Nearest air threat, because I'm slightly worried those guys are chasing us down. But they are now 5 more nautical miles away from us. They are flying after us. So since I'm out of medium range missiles, because AMRAAMs are medium range missiles, since I'm out of MRMs, we're gonna fly back and possibly let our air defenses handle these guys for us. But if not, we can turn around and face them, and my wingman should still have some missiles left that he can chuck at them. All right, let's check up on those guys again. Oh, they are gaining. Oh, no, that's Su-33s. 295, 49 nautical miles. That's nerve-wrackingly close. I don't like the sound of that. Oh, and we have a keybind to open and close our tinted visor. That's kind of funny. Airborne search radar, that is AWACS most likely. This is that Su-30 off our right. We're going to evade. Try to make sure we stay well away from him. It'd really freaking suck to end this mission, or to come so far in this mission, and then get shot down by an Su-30 so close to our base. Nearest air threat, see how close he is. 45 Su-33 two-ship. Oh god, I really don't want to have to tangle with those guys.
Hostile Prince 233, two-ship.
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1. Bingo, request relief.
Roll 7, Sentry 1, the window of vulnerability is still open. Can you hold on?
Sentry 1, Gamble, 7-1. Unable.
All right, we're getting close to Kunsan. Let's switch to tower. No, wrong one. Switch to tower frequency. Request unrestricted approach.
Gamble, 7-1. Two-ship, F-16s.
Start a descent.
East, 17,000. Inbound for landing.
Runway 36. All right. Let's get our ILS approach set up just in case. All right, ILS approach is set.
Chaff flare. Chaff flare.
Oh, gee. Holy crap, Shauna. You just scared the absolute shit out of me because that raid warning is raid warning sound or missile warning sounds. Oh my god. And we have an enemy aircraft that's not too far off our right somewhere over here that I really don't want to fight with because I'm out of missiles. And we're coming in for landing right now. I was actually just about to wrap upstream.
Caution.
Hey, Ro the Berserker, thanks for the follow. Shauna, thank you very much for the raid. Feel free to post your link in chat because I don't have bots or anything that works yet. Because I am bad at this streamer thing. Okay, we see the airstrip there. Let's descend. Reduce power.
Altitude.
Yep, altitude. That's the missile forewarning. I am pretty shortly not going to be able to really do too much interaction with chat because I will have to focus on landing. And in my experience, trying to read chat while landing is a very, very bad idea. Yeah, thanks very much for the heart attack. Many beeping sounds. Thankfully, there is no numbers of 30s popping up with triangles around them or diamonds around them. There's our airbase. All right. Try to descend to about 2,000 feet. So, Shauna, how was your stream? What were you playing?
Gamble, 72, turn right heading 205, hold 4,000, maintain 260 knots, runway 36.
Air traffic control, or rather approach for air traffic control is vectoring our wingman and to space him out for a landing. Oh, you were just chatting today. Oh, yeah, that's right. Gamble 7-1, contact tower. All right. Switch to tower frequency. Tower, request landing.
Gamble, 7-1. F-16 inbound for landing.
Gamble 7-1, Kunsan Tower.
Inbound for runway 36. Roger that.
Final.
We gotta still head out this direction until we can.
Two-ship, A-10s, ready for departure.
Goblin 7, hold short.
There's a pair of A-10s waiting on us to land. I don't see him down there yet. Might be at a render distance with this game. She was playing with her voice. Ah, I see. I don't know. That implies she's singing. But with Shauna, I assume she's doing some singing. All right, let's drop speed. Let's drop our speed brakes. Speed brakes are out.
Gun 3 knots. Runway 36.
Gear down.
For takeoff.
All right, now I was gonna try. We are now on final approach, and there is traffic. Report on final. Let's see if they tell us to wave off.
Gamble 7-1, Kunshan Tower. Continue inbound for runway 36.
All right, continue inbound.
2, contact departure.
They'll tell us if we have to wave off. So now what I'm doing here for landing is I've got this bracket here at the bottom, and I have to put that little circle with some lines. I have to put that in that bracket while also putting that on the runway. And then there are 4 lights down there. Right now it's 3 white and 1 red. I have to try to get that to be 2 whites and 2 reds.
7-1, Kunshan Tower. Wing 300.
Landing gear, 3 green lights, good. So we're good to continue for landing. And then we'll also have this marker here on the left. Right now it's a yellow chevron that says we got to slow down. It can also be a green dot, which is what it is now, which means we're just on perfect for angle of attack for landing. So we're coming in at the right angle. And then it can also be red, which means we're too slow. I try to make sure it doesn't end up in red. So we're a little high, but that's fine because we'll have plenty of... Oh, no, we're right on now because we switched to 2 whites and 2 reds. And I actually forgot to turn my lights back on, so we're doing this landing without lights, but oh well, it's too late to try to fix that. Or we do have landing lights, so that's fine. Pretty decent landing. We hit a little rough.
Kunshan Tower. Position and hold. Runway 36.
Position and hold runway 36. What does that mean? I haven't heard that before. But we'll continue our flare. And then we're going to hit about 90 knots and our... Actually, we got to brake right now because we're hitting the end of the runway. Come on, come on, come on, brake, 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 brake. All right, yeah, just barely. We came in a little too fast.
Goblin 7, Kunshan
Contact tower, all right.
300. At 2 knots. Runway 36. You are cleared for takeoff.
All right.
7-1. Contact below. Switch to 2.
So we are going to
2, 5.
wrap up this mission. And I will I'll debrief the mission. We'll look at what happened and see if we got hits with all our missiles or not. Because that's always a fun thing to do. Let's pause this campaign. Let me switch over to the big game capture. Oh, that's TAC view. Okay, so, well, this will prevent us from spoiling whether we got hits or not. So this TAC view, it shows us, hello, RelX, if I'm pronouncing that right. Thanks for coming to the stream. So this shows us what happened. So, okay, so first off, we see that there's a pair of A-10s. Those are no, those are that's Dart 5-1, so that's not what was landing before us. But here we are, we took off. We flew to our cap area. So we were just flying combat air patrol, making sure that nothing was flying in. And then we see, here's that flight of 4 MiG-19s we encountered right off the bat. And we've slung a missile at one. It came down right in and smacked one of them out of the sky. Perfect. Then we got onto this other pair of them that were chasing after some of our Harriers. We fired an AMRAAM at one, hit him, fired our second AMRAAM and actually hit the same guy. So that was not what we wanted. But then the other one got taken out by a Patriot missile here, this MIM that gets fired by one of these Patriot launchers. All right, Shauna, thanks for stopping by. I am going to wrap up after this debrief anyway. And then we flew around more. We completely missed this MiG-20, this Big 19 right here. We were flying straight in here. What were we doing here? Okay, so we flew around more. We were scanning for targets probably. Got to our racetrack position. Flew in. This was when we were getting lit up by that short-range air defense. It's one of these vehicles is an SA-15. So we flew out too far. We, made sure to not make that mistake next time. And we flew back, flew around, and we did this racetrack for quite a while without seeing anything like it all. Oh, but then we vectored onto these MiG-19s. Fired a AMRAAM at 1, knocked him out. Perfect. And then our last AMRAAM, bam, smack into another one. So we got 4 good kills on this. And after we fired all our AMRAAMs, we headed back. Let's see what was going on here. Okay, so there's some more biplanes over there. I don't see that. Here's those J-15s that were starting to paint us on radar. So they were coming towards us, it looks like. And then they got distracted by these F-16s that were running another CAP mission here. Because you can see that they were running a racetrack similar to ours, but a bit more narrow. And I want to see what happens with these guys. So let's pop over to them. So Panther 6-2, Panther 6-1 fired an AMRAAM. And it missed. They dodged. Oh, wait. Yeah, so they both dodged. Those J-15s fired 2 PL-12 missiles. These missiles have been giving me a big hassle because they're pretty hard to outrun. But that also is probably just a skill issue because I'm not adept at dodging missiles yet. So these guys both, let's see what they did. So they turned cold, which means turning away from the target, turning cold. He turned cold, he descended, and just gained speed. So you actually see, well, he came in at Mach, this is 1.04. That's the speed. And the left number here is their altitude. So he's at 20,000 feet, Mach 1.04. So he's supersonic, crazy. Yeah, my pilot is like the rookie of our group. He sucks. I am very bad at this game, but I've basically picked it up like a month ago and learned to fly a fighter jet in a month. So I think I'm doing okay. I just need to. The hard part is trying to learn this beyond visual range combat without somebody to teach it to you. So I really got to find some people who are playing this and have them teach me at some point, which I've been working on. It's just time's not worked out. I don't think I'm going to stream that when it does happen because that's too much going on to try to do at once. Yeah, so one failed the track and he outrun the other one. Panther 6-1, yeah, he well outran these guys because he was going Mach 2. And you can see another thing to note is that these missiles start out at Mach 3, and then it's quickly dropping speed. So they burn their motors out pretty quick, but they go really fast at the start. So that's good to know. And at further ranges, they're going to be going pretty slow. And at this point, it's at Mach 1.2, Mach 1, and now it's slower than him, so there's no way those are going to hit him. So this is one of the things that's really nice about this program, TAC View, because it really lets you see a lot of what's going on and provides some great learning. And then we see what happened with those J-15s. They turned cold as well, of course, but then they turned back around to meet what fired this AMRAAM. Oh, an FA-18, yeah, FA-18's coming to the rescue. So it fired this AMRAAM. That missed. A second AMRAAM missed. FA-18 dodged that missile, yeah. But then this J-15's in the range of the Patriots, and oh, he just narrowly dodged that pair of missiles. Fired a PL-12, missed, dodges an AMRAAM. Yeah, these guys are really good. And all of these missiles. Then this guy just, yeah, gets too close to these Patriots that have been waiting to fire their missiles at everything. Gets blown apart. And then this guy takes another pair of missiles. So this is where I was saying that if we're out of missiles and we can just drag the enemies back to our huge bubble of air defenses here, we're pretty darn safe, because those Patriots are really good. And what makes them so deadly is that the way the tracking works on these missile systems is it's radar guided, but it's track while scan. So the way it works is, rather than doing what the AMRAAM does, that I've explained before, where your aircraft radar locks onto a target, you fire the missile, but your aircraft is telling the missile where the target is until the missile can detect the target, and then the missile takes over guidance. The Patriot missiles spend the entire time guiding the missile with its main radar. So the way you'll see it as a pilot who has to fight against the thing is the Patriot will pop up as locking onto you, and you'll get a diamond saying that it is locked onto you with its fire control radar. And you will get no notification that it fired a missile. And then a missile will hit you, and you die. So they are very scary and very deadly, but they're also very accurate because they are radar guided, but you get no warning since the missile is not emitting. So I would not want to fly against these things. But I think that is all we're going to do for tonight. Oh, we got a failed mission. Well, bull crap, because we did pretty well. We failed the mission because we didn't stay on station for the amount of time we were supposed to, so the game's just being dumb. Which is why normally when I'm doing these, I task it as an interception mission, because you just can't fail an interception mission. You just fly out and try to do things. So we're going to try to find somebody to raid. I'm going to raid my friend M41. She is a Roomba VTuber. She might actually be in her Roomba model today. I don't know. I'll pop into her stream and see. But she's playing Hunt Showdown, which is a game I've found pretty interesting. Oh, she is in her Roomba model. So yes, we will send her a raid. I don't have a raid message yet because I am dumb. So just pop in and say hi. But thank you all for watching. I think I will be streaming again tomorrow. Probably not flight sims, because I like to take a break every once in a while from streaming flight sims. And we will probably play Halo Otist or Cyberpunk. And next flight sim scene would be Sunday. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.